Shalom. I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kudash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. A shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. And this is Shabai from the GMS Denver camp. And I'm going to go in on Revelation 17. All right. And, it's, a couple weeks back, last week back, it was, we were being referred to as the prophets of doom. And when you go on the blue letter, that's what it says right here, the doom of Babylon. Just a little note. But Revelation 17, all right, let's go. This is a heavy chapter. Revelation 17, a very parabolic chapter. So let's go ahead and read it. Without further ado, I'll start from the top. It says, "And there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters." All right, and the great whore is America, Babylon. Okay, America, named after Amerigo Vespucci. Right, they could have named it Amerigo, but then that wouldn't fit prophecy, right? And it's the Lord put the spirit on them to call America instead of Amerigo. And guess what? It lines right up with prophecy, because if it was Amerigo, you couldn't call Amerigo the great whore, right? So anyway, let's read. Oh, and then it says, "The great whore that sitteth upon many waters," and this goes into, America having her nose in everyone's business, having her embassies all over the world. Basically, America is known for that. Known for, the United States is known for, like I said, all the embassies that they build around the world. There's more embassies of American embassies than any other country that are spread out throughout the world. Let's do a little experiment. Let me look that up real quick. How many United States embassies are there in the world? It says the United States has over 270 embassies. Okay, so that's how she sits upon many waters. All right, she's everywhere. She's a whore. Just like a whore is everywhere, America's a whore. She's everywhere. Verse 2, "To whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication." All right, and the kings of the earth, all the kings are we have a lot of kings who just basically, they're in cahoots with Babylon. They're basically, they rub elbows with Babylon. They let Babylon, they use Babylonian policies, American policies. You got the internet, so all these nations, all these different kings and nations are influenced through the internet because of America, Babylon. Because you could be in China and you got little girls who will be twerking because they like fucking Cardi B or Nicki Minaj or Meg Thee Stallion, shit like that. You could be in a little country in Africa, same thing. You got girls twerking. You got girls learning, to be like the filthy whore that Babylon is. When this place is openly, embraces fornication, openly embraces. And I'm talking about, and fornication is dealing not just with sex. It's dealing with false idols, false philosophies. All the countries, you got countries out there, nations out there that, their women and their people will move to America just so they can, because they call it the land of the free. And you gotta understand, you have too much liberty, and you're gonna act up, and that's what these people do. Their wickedness increases because they'll come to America because they can't do some shit, in their country, so they'll come to America where they can do anything. And women have lots of liberty out here. And basically, this is an example of these kings of the earth committing fornication, and the earth being drunk with the wine of her fornication. And what's wine? Wine is philosophies, doctrines, belief systems, right? So you come to America, you can be a whore, basically, right? But you got all that. The point is this place influences in a wicked way the whole world. Verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. All right. So the John the Revelator, he actually saw a vision of a woman, sitting on a beast. Because the woman rides the beast. The woman is America. She's the whore. The beast is the system, right? And it's also going into history right here, because it says having 7 heads and 10 horns. As we go into the chapter, we break it down more about the 7 heads and the 10 horns. Let's read verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Right. And that's, let me grab this real quick. I think it's just, let me just see if it's Jeremiah 49:12, I think. Jeremiah 49:12. All right, yeah. So this is the cup, this dealing with the judgment of the Lord. All right, and this cup that the whore is holding is full of abominations. All right, and she's going to get punished because of those abominations, because that cup that's in her hand that's full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication, like we just read. But this is Jeremiah 49:12. It says, because the cup deals with wrath and judgment. All right, Yahweh, he put that on our people to drink of that cup, the wrath of Yahweh. But he's also got that cup that Babylon's going to drink out of, which is wrath, punishment, and in America's case, destruction. Let's read it. It's Jeremiah 49:12. For thus saith Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. All right? And then you keep reading, it says, I'll just read a little portion right here. For I have sworn by myself, saith Yahweh, that Bozrah shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual wastes. All right? So Yahweh is telling Jeremiah that, the people that were surely not supposed to drink of this cup was the Israelites. But we are drinking of it because we're feeling the wrath of Yahweh, right? We've been persecuted, oppressed, put in captivity multiple times throughout history. And so that's us drinking of that cup, the wrath of Yahweh. But guess what? He says, art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? And we know it's talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, because in verse 13 it mentions Bozrah. Bozrah, if you know the history, is a chief city, may even been the capital, I don't remember, because Petra or Bozrah. Bozrah might have been the capital, but of Edom, the capital city of Edom. When you go into the ancient maps, ancient biblical maps, you'll find out that Bozrah was a chief city in Edom. And what he's telling Jeremiah is like look, these people of Edom, of Bozrah, they're not gonna go unpunished. They're gonna drink of this cup too. All right. And then he goes on to say it's going to be a reproach, which is a shame, a waste, a curse, and perpetual waste, the cities. You see? So this is the judgment that's coming to the great, this great whore, this harlot, which is America, Babylon the Great. Let's go back to Revelation 17. It says in verse 5, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. All right, so Mystery Babylon. Okay, remember what the Yahweh, he says that he gives his mysteries and his secrets to his prophets. So a lot of people are out there saying, oh, America is not in the Bible. But that's because they're not prophets. They don't know. They don't know the mysteries. They don't know the secrets. But Yahweh gives his secrets unto his prophets. It tells you that in Amos 3:7. It says, surely Yahweh the Most High will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants the prophets. Okay? So who's here to tell you that the mystery Babylon the Great, which is the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth, we're here to tell you that this is definitely talking about America. All right, Revelation 17:5. All right, and to you people who are not in the know, to you people who are not part of the elect, this is a mystery to you. When you read Revelation, you'll think it's Iraq because that's where the region of ancient Babylon is. Right? I've had people tell me that, oh, well, Babylon is Iraq. No, motherfucker. Babylon is the United States of America, the whore. All right? When, Iraq is not sitting upon many waters like we read in the first verse. The kings of the earth are not committing fornication with Iraq, But you got idiots that'll sit there and try to argue with you and say that Babylon is talking about Iraq. Salakia. All right, so yeah, America is in the scriptures, but it's a mystery to all these people who don't understand. And the prophets, we understand. Because why? Because the Holy Spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is dealing with us. And we can tell you 100% America is Babylon. All right, let's keep reading. Verse 6. And I saw a woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. So, John the Revelator, he literally saw a vision of a woman, right? But the woman actually represents America, like I'm telling you. And it says here, she's drunk with the blood of the martyrs. What's a martyr? It's someone who dies for their testimony, someone who dies for the truth. All right? And because we know through the prophecy that there are going to be martyrs. There's going to be brothers who are out here that are teaching and preaching this gospel, this truth, and are going to be put to death because of the testimony of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, right? Let's get that real quick. Let's go to Revelation 20 in verse 4. It says, and I saw the thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, because the prophets are not going to worship the beast. We're not going to take his micro-C-hip, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And that's that micro-C-hip. And they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. Right? So John the Revelator, he saw the image of the souls of those who were that beheaded, which were what? Martyrs. That's why it's talking about martyrs in verse 6 in Revelation 17. So let's keep reading. And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee a mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. The angel's like, why are you marveling? I'm about to tell you, I'm about to break it down for you, just like I'm going to break it down for you, right? You watching. It says right here, verse 8, the beast that thou sawest and is not, the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. And it says the beast that you saw that and is not, that was and is not, is because America is not during the time of the writing of Revelation, right? When John the Revelator documented it, it was not an empire, it was not a country, it was not birthed yet, right? Like they have that movie Birth of a Nation. America was not in existence. That's why it says the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. Perdition means destruction. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. Okay? When they observe the beast that was and is not and yet is. All right? Because you have to understand, it says the beast that sawest was and is not and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. It's talking about different time frames, different empires, different countries, all right, dealing with Edomite countries. But it's talking about the beast, all right? So it's talking about the beast that was and that is not and shall ascend. It came from the Greeks, the Romans. And I'm actually going to give you a breakdown, but let me read a little bit more here. It says in verse 9, and here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. All right, and these are different mountains. Remember, is a metaphor for governments or empires. All right, so these are the 7 heads. I wrote them down here: the Greeks, the Romans, Germania Minor, Germania Major, the Spanish, the French, and the British. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those are the 7 mountains that the woman sitteth on. All right, and they're different time frames. All right, so let's keep reading. Verse 10. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. All right, so it says then 1 is, so 5 were already fallen, right? You had the one, let's see. You had all, out of those 7, 5 had already fallen. It says, and 1 is, the 1 is dealing with the Roman Empire, because that's who was in power when John the Revelator was, documenting Revelation, right? So that's the one that says that 1 is and the other is not yet come. All right? And then the one that not yet come, let's see. All right, and now it's going to explain, because remember, the last out of those 7 after the Roman Empire is going to be you had the British, which would have been the 7th head of that dragon, or of that beast, Salakia. So let me read this again. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen. 1 is, the 1 is was Rome. And the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the one that's not yet come was British. Okay, the British Empire would be later known as, Great Britain or England, right? And it says in verse 11, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. All right? And so the 8th is dealing with Babylon America, because he's of the 7, right? Because America is an extension of the Roman Empire, and America quite literally came out of the British Empire. All right? When the United States was set up, it was because they They fought for their sovereignty to become their own nation, right, against the French and the Spanish, who would become the Americans. French, Spanish, and British. They basically, America was started, but it came from the British, right? So that's why it says he is of the seven and goeth into perdition. And that's America. The fate of Babylon, America, the whore, is perdition, which goes into destruction. All right. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. All right. And it's talking about NATO. All right, because in the inception of NATO, there were 10 major countries when that was developed. And NATO is a military alliance, which America is part of, which that's what this is talking about right here. NATO and the EU, but really NATO, because that's the military side of that alliance. The EU is dealing with the European Union, which is more of an economic, political alliance. But NATO is the 10 horns, all right? So it says in verse 14, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and the King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And the Lamb is Wh0Re. All right, because during World War III, Wh0Re is going to intervene in the angels, right? And they're going to turn their attention, the heathen nations, and these, especially America, they're going to be fighting war. There's going to be a war in heaven, and they're going to be fighting Wh0Re and the angels, right? And that's why they're going to go into perdition, because they're going to lose that war. World War III is not going to end good for Babylon, America, the whore. Matter of fact, we're about to read it. It says in verse 15, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitude and nations and tongues, right? She sitteth upon many waters, right? She sitteth upon many different nations, people who speak different languages, right? Verse 16, tongues is languages. Verse 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. So this is what I'm talking about. The NATO, the EU, these countries are going to end up getting fed up with the whore. You know, they're in alliance with her right now, NATO. But they're going to turn on the whore. They're going to burn her with fire, which is America. And you can already see, and I'm not saying Ukraine's not part of NATO, but you can see the other nations they despise America. Watch, let's get Obadiah real quick. Let's see. Obadiah 1. Let's start at, let's read 1. Obadiah 1:1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith Yahweh the Most High concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. And who's her? It's that whore, America. It says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. And all you gotta do is watch. There was what triggered me to do this lesson was I was watching Zelensky and Trump go at it on TV today. And it could have been political theater, because both those motherfuckers are actors. But nonetheless, these heathen nations, they despise America. They despise the whore. And it's going to eventually become NATO despising the whore, and they're going to turn against her. And it tells you, let's keep reading. Thy pride, or the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Talking about America. It's a prideful nation. If you watch the video with Zelensky and Trump today, you should have saw how proud Donald Trump was when he was arguing with Zelensky. But remember, we always got to keep, take it with a grain of salt, because we know that those are both actors. Trump is an actor, and as well as Zelensky. But either way, they were arguing today, and Trump was in a very prideful, proud spirit. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, because Esau, Edom dwelt in the clefts of the rocks, in the caves. That's what Petra is, which was another city in Edom. They were literally carved cities in. They carved their buildings into the mountain, into the rock. That's why it says that. Whose habitation is high. You know how America is really a lot of the heathen nations. They build the skyscrapers and whatnot. But America is at the forefront of that. That's another example of how those countries and those kings of the earth commit fornication and are drunk with her wine, because that's another example. Not just America has those tall skyscrapers, but you go to like China and Japan, these other different heathen nations, they have these tall ass skyscrapers. That's a heathen nation type thing. Just like their statues too. That's those ginormous statues all over the world. Usually those are found, the biggest statues, graven images are found in heathen nations when you do the research. So those are all examples of how they commit fornication, and they're drunk off the wine of her fornication. All right. And America is the great influencer of the world. All right. It says here, let us keep reading. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and thou set the nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. The national bird of Babylon, America, is the eagle. Verse 5. If thieves come to thee, if robbers come by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? So basically going into the greed of Babylon. Because America, if they find out a country has gold, they'll go in there and take all the damn gold from the country. That's why they're on many waters. Because they're putting their nose in everyone's business. They're like the big bully of the earth. The great whore, the mystery Babylon is a big ass bully. Right? America goes everywhere. It puts her nose in everyone's business. Like I say, if she finds resources in a country, she goes, like it was oil, gold, whatever it is, America will put her nose in that business, in that nation's business, in that country's business. Verse 6, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All right, Esau is Edom. Verse 7, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. All right. So basically, confederacy means an ally, an alliance, together, right? So this is what I'm telling you, that those 10 horns are going to burn America with fire, because the pride of America, they're sick of Americans, man. The world hates Americans, man. They don't. You just look at it, and really, Putin. Once Putin gets involved, and once Putin gets to that point where Russia, hey, that's when that World War III is going to really pop off, and it's all going to go back to all these nations hating the whore. All right, you watch. I posted a video on the brothers group chat last week, and what it was is a video of not the Olympics, but it was a hockey game, and it was involving the United States and Canada. And before the game even started, the fucking Canadians and the United States hockey players, there was 3 fights before the game even got to. They tipped the puck off, or whatever they call it. But there was 3 fights in that, and it was going into. The Canadians were pissed off because of those tariffs that Donald Trump has set against these countries, these nations. So all the Lord, like all Elder Apostle Tahar, he's been saying it a lot. He's been saying, man, we need to thank Yahweh that the Most High put him as king of Babylon, because he's riling up these nations, all right? These nations are getting sick and tired of the whore. They hate the whore, man. Revelation 17. And then it's going to ultimately bring World War III. And that is something that the men of the Lord, you're in your right mindset. You actually want World War III to happen, because guess what? Then we get to enter into our kingdom, right? In Lord's will, I'm part of that number that goes up in a chariot and is saved during the destruction, during the nuclear fire, right? Let's go Revelation 17. I'm going to read 16 again. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire." Right? "For the Most High hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will." And what's his will? His will is not to save or heal America. His will is to destroy the whore, to destroy Babylon America. So you dumbass Christian pastors, or any of you religious people out there that are praying for the healing of Babylon America, well, you're praying against the will of the Most High. The Most High wants to destroy this place, and he's going to do it in his appointed season. Okay? Let me read that again. "For the Most High hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will." It's his will, all right? It's not even their will. It's Yahweh's will to destroy the whore. "And to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth." All right, and the woman, again, is Babylon America. And people will say, "Oh, well, it's talking about a city, not a nation." Well, guess what? When you have a city, it's dealing with people, all right? And people are called citizens, right? So this is literally, if you're an American citizen, you represent that great city. You go anywhere in the world to travel, they're going to look at you, they're going to say, "You're an American," right? You're a citizen of America. And this is that great city. You're that citizen of that great city, Babylon the Great, the whore. So with that, I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh-Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akim who are pushing this truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.